and welcome to another episode of Ljubljana Talks, recorded live in Frankfurt at IMEX 2025. And with Goraz, we have another great episode in front of us. Kristina Hentschel. Welcome to Ljubljana Talks.
Thank you.
We just kind of had a quick chat, but one thing that you already said, you've worked both in public and private, if I didn't understand you, corporate. Tell me, what's your life story? What's your comparison about that?
Well, I've been working in the corporate pharmaceutical world for more than 25 years, and I really loved it because we always talk about purpose, right? So pharma industry is really about purpose. You're not just selling brands, you have medicine that can really enhance people's lives, right? And I love to inspire and connect people. And this is what always events are for me. Bringing people together, be it internally for big internal corporate events, or in my case, with HCPs, with doctors, with patients, to bring them together, inspire them, and ideally do something together that has an impact.
Okay.
And after all that time in the corporate world, I thought, would be great to do this not just for one company, but maybe also for others. So I decided to leave the corporate world and start my own business to follow my passion for events.
Wow.
So let me start with this question. In pharma industry, everything is very heavily regulated, I would say.
That's true.
Is there a place for creativity or no? Not really.
There's always a place for creativity.
Okay.
Of course, it's strictly regulated about the things you are allowed to say and what you can do, for example, with doctors. But then it's even more important to become creative, and it's about designing events, and to really find formats that are truly engaging, that really take them on a journey and to truly leave an impact. So it's more about the creativity in designing the formats and events.
Let me ask you, so why there is then so many boring events?
This is the question I had, and this was one reason why I started my own business, to exactly do that, to work with teams in the pharma industry to turn boring events into interesting, engaging, impactful events. Because I'm not sure your experience is, but I myself, I was bored with the endless PowerPoint presentation, meetings, panel discussions, 2 days, locked in a room with no daylight, and just one keynote presentation, strategy presentation, whatever, from the front, and just passive consumption. And this is why we need to think it differently and really think how we can involve the audience, ideally way before the event, right? Then during the event, and also leave time to digest and to translate for them what it means. Yeah.
You're now talking about event design.
Yes.
So by liberating yourself of the limits of one company, right? What are your tools that you see work in the meeting design to achieve the purpose that you're just describing?
Yeah. First, it's definitely about the right strategy, that the team needs to be clear, what do I want to achieve, and not just I want to kick off or I have a sales conference, but what behavior should have changed after the event. And then really for every session to define what are my key messages, what should stick with the audience. Then it's about collaboration, finding the right team to develop the project, the event. So usually you have a project owner, right? And then you have a huge team around you. So this should be cross-functional. They should be all working towards the same goal. Then also the collaboration with the event agency team. Then myself coming in with a more strategic conceptual view. So it's all about this. And also taking the big picture. So not seeing events as standalone events, but taking the broader perspective. How does it fit into the overall company goals and the communication strategy? So to have a more strategic, holistic view and then collaborate with those involved.
So, if I understand you correctly, we have a very powerful tool in our hands, but of course that means also a lot of responsibility. Eh? And here we are coming to sustainability, which suddenly disappear from the menu of big events, which I'm not happy about.
You think so, that it's disappearing?
It was a buzzword, but now actually somehow disappeared, you know. And what do you think about that? Am I right or am I completely wrong?
I made mixed experiences over the last months because I worked with a few clients, and just the recent kick-off I had, there was only vegetarian food. There were no printouts, so it was all digital. We stayed in a hotel that was eco-friendly, and we calculated what the ecological footprint was after the event. So they took it really seriously. Others, I think, don't have a real strategy or not pushing it that much. And also, I don't know what you think when it comes to material. I see how nice it is to have it all virtually, but for example, when it comes to making notes or writing a commitment card to yourself, which I think is much more powerful at the end of the meeting. So, okay, what does it mean for me? What do I take home? Of course, you can put it in your iPhone, but if you have a card and you write it down and you take it home, put it on your desk, it stays much more. And I know that would cost some, paper and CO2 and whatever.
We are coming to the phase where we will do also sustainable accounting, which is now a reality in Europe. That means that we will need to report according to new standards, so there is no doubt. And at least in some parts of this story, we are ahead of the world, globally. They are following us, they are followers of Europe, and that's good in my opinion.
Yeah.
But obviously we are not really talking a lot about that, because this is getting serious now. So it's about mathematics, it's about facts.
Yeah.
It's not anymore about doing some small things, but we need to
would be nice to have, right? No, it's not anymore.
So, but suddenly, this has become too complicated for the industry, and it disappeared from the agenda. This is my observation, but just as an observation. I'm coming back to your new role. Actually, you were on the other side of the river. Usually, probably agencies pitch to you. Am I right?
Yeah.
They were pitching to you,
yes.
But now you need to pitch back.
Yeah.
So, does it help to be on the other side of the river or not?
Yeah, definitely, because I know how both worlds work, and it's always the best to understand your customer and the processes and the language and the relations to really help them. Because sometimes they even don't realize they have a problem, an issue. Yeah, they're spending a lot of money for these events, especially the internal ones, but then they're spending lots of time to define the agenda, to align. So there could be much more agile tools, much more interactivity, much more involvement. And what they always often miss is the power of their own people. So when it comes to design of the event, I'm a big fan of bringing the own people on stage, not flying in a super fancy keynote speaker talking for an hour, but bringing your own people with their stories. So great projects, their superpower, what they achieved. And I can see there's a hesitance sometimes, but whenever we did it, it was the most powerful and emotional session of the full 2 or 3 days. Why? It's emotional and it connects with the audience. So this is, I think, also one tool that companies should really use more, just the power of their own people.
Can you tell me more about how you are building up your team, By choosing your team, it says a lot about you. So how are you building up the team around you now? What kind of teammates you need for your projects? What are you looking for? What kind of, I would say, characters, qualities in people?
Passion to create something unique, something powerful, the same energy probably like I have. Diverse would be good, to have some younger people with different backgrounds, from different cultures. I mean, I've been living and working in the Middle East for some years, so that was also quite an interesting experience to see this complete different approach to to meeting people, how important networks are, how important personal relationships are, but also complete different way of planning events was a big learning for me. But that's also good to see how different people work differently.
You can see Gorast is very much into the corporate concept and the creating events. When you are creating events, in most cases, if you agree, you have to follow the healthcare code.
Yeah.
So, how do you see the legislation and the knowledge of this legislation with your partners in the destinations where you operate? How do you see it be recognized and understood?
It depends. Destination I cannot say because I don't work directly with the destination. I work with agencies, and some are specialized in healthcare, so they're quite familiar with it. But I can also see that big pharma is also looking for smaller, rather creative agency, and they need quite some onboarding, of course, on what is allowed to do and what not. But sometimes it's good, right, to get different perspectives, to be a bit more creative, and to be in the boundaries.
Yeah, because the boundaries can be very complicated. I mean, in terms of organizing a congress, a big international congress, you have to be respective of the local code, but also of the individual national codes. So there's quite a lot of knowledge. How do you resolve this? How do you know that you are within the code of all those different factors and different elements?
For that, I would need people who are really deeply into that topic and just constant learning, being up to date and knowing who to ask if I don't know. And probably also associations and networks. Yeah, so I'm also a big fan of networks. So be it within the industry or on certain topics like female empowerment. So just asking for help if you don't know.
So we are coming to the end of this discussion. So what are 3 ingredients which are absolutely necessary for a successful event? What is your opinion about it? What do we need to create? Let's say that we are chefs, and we're cooking an event, What should we put together so that it works?
Definitely inspiration, because we want to inspire people, and not just with data and facts, but with stories, emotions, and true change. Co-design or integration, and working with different people together, taking them on board before, during, and after the event. And impact. So it's all about impact. Think about what you want to achieve at an event and fully work towards that goal.
Amazing. We usually finish with short questions for you.
Oha.
Mine is a very simple one, and you can describe later on why you decide for that. Walking or cycling? It's my question.
Walking at the moment. Because we live in Vienna. We are living in Vienna, close to Vienna at the moment.
Amazing.
The beautiful vineyard, so I can walk around there for hours.
I wanted to ask wine or beer, but you mentioned the vineyard.
Austria, that's an obvious one.
But I will ask you, ice or fire?
Ice or fire? Fire. If fire means more warm than cold, then it's fire.
Amazing. Kristina, can you share, if you want to share something with our audience, this is your last chance, last call to share anything you want with everybody who is watching us now.
Yeah, first, thanks for watching, and can see the energy and passion I have for events, and I think everyone could contribute to great events. So just connect and spark the ideas how we can make events even more impactful, especially in the healthcare industry.
Thanks a lot once again.
Thank you very much.
Stay tuned. We are coming back in a few moments.